Jambe, I'm William Kumwembe with Business Time, a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. And in the program today, private sector credit trends excite central bank. We have a report. And Capitol Hill tipped on investing in modern hydroelectricity generation. We have these and other stories. Stay tuned if you could. Hello and welcome. In our main story in the program today, the Reserve Bank of Malawi has expressed confidence that the recent pickup in the economy, coupled with declining interest rates, would continue to grow private sector credit. This, they say, will result in a vibrant industry sector that will entail creation of jobs and eventually growth of the economy. Chimwemwe Mangazi has the whole story.
Real private sector credit growth was recorded at 10.9% in July 2019 after mostly being negative since 2012. In nominal terms, the outstanding stock of credit to the private sector was recorded at 531 billion kwacha in July 2019. In an interview, RBM Governor Dalitso Kabambe said private sector credit is re-establishing a trend enjoyed in 1964 and 1983 and between 2004 and 2011.
As I said, and I've been saying for quite some time now, that we are projecting 5% medium-term inflation outlook in the near term. And once we reach there, our policy rate will come down to 11%. Similarly, we have also introduced the reference rate. We hope that the reference rate should be around that same margin going forward. And as I showed in the conference, that those rates are rates that were prevailing as late as 1980s, thereabout. I think going forward, the key issue is about how private sector credit growth is going to play out. Already we are seeing that the private sector credit growth turned positive in real terms in August 2018, and it continues to be strong. Currently, in nominal terms, it's about 531 billion. That is in private sector credit as a total, and it's growing month on month. That's quite encouraging. What we want to see is that growth continuing, because as the private sector credit growth is growing, it means that businesses are getting finances, are expanding their businesses. It means that they are creating more jobs, producing more output, and that's what's going to grow the economy, reduce poverty, and help wealth creation.
Meanwhile, Kabambe said at 33%, domestic debt is outside the 20% debt sustainability threshold, while foreign debt is within the debt sustainability threshold of 30% at 27.9%. He conceded that the central bank needs to do more to bring domestic debt down to sustainable levels in the coming months and years. Economics professor at Chancellor College Ben Kalua, however, said the central bank's projections are not realistic.
You have to know the basics about the inflation in Malawi. Okay? The inflation in Malawi is a different animal than the inflation, say, in the US and other countries. So we're saying the basic needs, we're talking about the needs of the lowest income, basic needs. That's the major driver of the inflation calculus for Malawi. That's the major one. And what we are saying, it's seasonal. Okay? It's seasonal. It also depends on the structure of the agriculture sector. Basic needs are agro-related. That's it, food. Okay? And then we are saying that the structure of the food supply system or sector in Malawi is such that it depends on a unimodal, one rain season. Unimodal rain-fed agriculture, the supply is made. So for somebody to be so optimistic to say that the inflation is going to continue coming down, it's nonsense. Somebody look, National Statistics Office, they supply figures which can be traced throughout the year and every year. And it shows the same pattern, has been showing the same pattern and not changed. For somebody to be so optimistic to say that, the inflation will okay, fine, look, control the range. Can you control the range? It's beyond us, okay? That's an exogenous factor. We can't control it. If you can't control something, don't bank on it. Unless if you say you believe in God, and God supplies the rainfall, fine, that's okay. But otherwise, for somebody who is so confident to think that the inflation will continue being it is right now, it's not okay.
Economic expert Edward Chilima said the country needs to reposition itself in nurturing small and medium enterprises who continue facing hurdles in accessing credit.
There is need for authorities to invest in modern technologies of producing hydroelectricity to improve the energy situation in the country. This came out during the Hydroelectricity Symposium held in Blantyre. 14 hydroelectricity companies from Africa and Europe are discussing opportunities and challenges the hydroelectricity generation in Africa. William Nyabunya is Chief Executive Officer of the Energy Generation Company and explains.
Hydropower is one of the key because one, it is the cheapest form of power generation. It's high in investment, but operations is one of the cheapest. And if we could not do hydropower, then power in Africa would not be affordable to many of the people that use electricity. So this aspect is one of the things that we say we need to be innovative on how we can use the little water that we're getting and make use of it, but generate the most eco power that we need to get out of that. So these innovations are the ones that I was pleading with our consultants, our manufacturing partners, that they should go in consultation with ourselves. How can we make use of the water that we are getting now, less and less, but be able to generate power, what we need? This is a continental conference. We have people from about 14, 15 countries, others from Europe, Asia, and Africa. And through this interaction, we have already been getting some queries or requests for information on what the generation aspect in Malawi is all about, and the projects that we're going through that others would want to partner with us as partners in a public-private partnership sort of. So we believe that this networking is going to help us as a company and also as a nation, Malawi. If you recall, I also mentioned of the many things that we've done in the 2 years. The projects that we've started, the initiatives that we've made, and even hosting of this international forum is one of those initiatives that we're putting ourselves on. And this just shows how serious-minded as a company we are, how focused we are as a company, the projects that we have made in the past 2 years, and these initiatives just shows that going into the future, we are not doing things business as usual, but we're trying to be as innovative as possible and doing business out of the box, that we can do something for the nation, for the good of Malawi electricity generation.
Engineer Kaira Siame is director of Kafue Gorge Regional Training Center. He explains in this interview.
Hydropower development in the region is still a challenge. Partly first, we need more investment. We need finances to go towards development of hydropower. And it's one of the major sources of energy that we must still continue supporting. There are different aspects socially that most of the African countries are facing. And development in hydropower is just one of those that require the meager resources that are there to be shared. What most African countries are concentrating on is in renewable energy. Hydropower is one of the clean energy areas that we're investing in. Others are going into solar, wind, but hydropower we're always guaranteed and assured of water. We do have climate changes issues which are affecting some of the investments in hydropower, but almost all the African countries that are endowed with water are seriously giving hydropower attention. This year's theme was very important because we are at a stage where access to electricity within the African countries is still quite low, but we need more investments. And then we're looking at opportunities and challenges which have been faced in the last couple of years. And for this year's theme, paper presentations have all concentrated on looking at what has been done so far, what have we achieved, and also the opportunities where we're looking at technology transfer, investment into the new areas that require investing in the different countries in hydropower.
The Tobacco Commission has described the 2019 tobacco selling season as a mixed bag. Briefing reporters in Lilongwe on Wednesday, TC Chief Executive Officer Kaisi Sadala said the season had some successes and challenges. He explains in this interview with our journalist, Taonga Sabola.
Preparations for the forthcoming season is indeed underway. We've just finished the registration process, and we noted that there was an overwhelming response from the growers. There are a lot more growers that want to grow tobacco this year. For example, I think as we speak, we have registered about 50,000. We have issued 50,000 licenses. In terms of individual growers, that is maybe in excess of 200,000. But in terms of licenses, I think we've done about 50,000 licenses compared to last year when we did about 47,000 licenses. So that goes to show that there's a lot of interest to grow tobacco. And as for the volumes, as you're aware, the quota still is, the official quota that we got is 154.3 million kilograms. But we expect that this figure may be adjusted upwards because we have noted that some buyers have actually contracted more volumes than they had indicated to us. So once we have consolidated the figures, we'll be coming to the general public to advise how much overall has been contracted or what the trade requirement is like.
Sadala further said preparations for the next growing season is progressing well.
From our perspective, the market was very successful. Successful in a number of ways, as you may have noted that in this just ended season, there was no single day that we closed the markets because of disagreements between buyers and growers. So that's one thing. But also we noted that in terms of other malpractices like complaints of tobacco being stolen or people tampering with other people's tobacco, it wasn't there. But it was also an year where the Tobacco Act came into implementation. So that has gone a long way in terms of addressing the challenges that the tobacco industry was facing. But that notwithstanding, we had some challenges as well. As you may have noted from the markets, I think overall, the prices were not very good compared to last year. The average price this year was around $1.43 compared to last season when it was $1.67. But also we noted that in some cases, I think there was misunderstanding, especially with the coming of the new law. People, the sections of the growers were a bit worried in terms of certain sections of the law, especially to do with the penalties, and that they were not comfortable that they start paying the penalties right now. So I think that it was resolved by government. So, but overall, we had more positives than negatives in the system. Well, overall, we have realized a little less than last year. In terms of volume, we've sold 165.7, or if we sum it, about 167 million kilograms. That has resulted in a realization of $237 million. Compared to last year when we sold about 200 million kilograms and realized about $337 million. So we are a bit low this year compared to last year.
Remember, this is Business Time on Times Television, a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines. I'm William Kumwembe. We'll be right back. And as we proceed with the program, let us now have a look at how the Malawi kwacha is faring against major trading currencies on the foreign exchange market. Welcome back. Consumers Association of Malawi, KAMA, has expressed gratitude with the withdrawal of 1% withholding tax on non-bank mobile money transactions. The association was against the tax on the basis that it is threatening financial inclusion initiatives and segregated the poor, among other reasons. Sharon Chira compiled this report, read in our studios by Chimwemwe Mangazi.
KAMA Executive Director John Kapito said the withdrawal of the tax has a positive impact on the livelihoods of many Malawians who have now adopted usage of mobile phones as means of financial inclusions.
When you go on the streets, you find a lot of women, more women than men, the ones that are agents. But also that when you go into the rural areas where we are using money as a financial inclusion tool, where people are saving money in the mobile phones, you find that it is women, because the women save money. As I said earlier on, this tax was going to be a negative one in that I think it was going to affect the most vulnerable people in rural areas where banks do not exist, because even right now when you go in the rural areas, you find that there are few agents than in town here. And that I think in rural areas it's more of withdrawal other than sending money. Therefore, the benefits for receiving, that's where now you get a lot of taxes than somebody who is sending money. Because when I'm sending money, I'm not charged. But when I'm collecting, I'm the one who pays all the charges. I receive less money. So the idea to have this removed was arrived at. Now today was a question of telling you to celebrate with you, to say that what we did has worked very well. And my approach today was to thank the minister. I'm thanking the minister wholeheartedly, because he didn't even need to go to parliament to ask parliament. Neither did parliament debate the issue. He withdrew it before it could be debated. And then he had now to begin finding other sources on how he can manage his budget. For the reasons that I have given you, the reasons are that this is much more building for the nation and for financial inclusion. The minister did not also want to do that by saying if we are promoting financial inclusion, now we got 7,000 people that are using mobile services. And do you know how many people have got the bank accounts in the country? Only 2 million. And I'm sure you got about 3 bank accounts out of the 2 million. And I've got 4 bank accounts out of the 2 million. So you can see that I think the number of people that save money in the banks is small compared to the people that use phones. At least everybody has got a phone. We are sure that I think we got 7 million handsets, and each handset, somebody uses mobile money. We must watch what is happening. But according to us and according to the mobile network operators, this tax has now been removed. Now we are at a better place where we can stand up and say we did a good job.
He said that the association is now working on making sure that people that depend on the mobile money transactions get more out of it by means of commission.
I'm also complaining they don't receive the money that they're supposed to be getting. So the next fight that we have, that I wanted us to start now, is now to fight for these people that are on the streets, to demand that the mobile network operators again should start taking care of those people that I think stay on the road. There are about 40,000 of them, and if they are going to be included, definitely their lives are supposed to change. If their lives are going to change, then we are going maybe to have a better environment. The other issue was about the charges the minister raised. He said the charges that I think we get when we are collecting money from these mobile networks, when somebody sends you money, if he feels the figures are too high, then they must be reduced. And that he's also negotiating with his counterpart at the Reserve Bank. And I'm sure that's also what the governor said in Mangochi. He alluded the same fact that I think the charges are going to be regulated, and that there is no way we can have one agent charging so much money and one is charging less at another plant. So it was a meeting of minds, and I want to thank you for being so nice. And for being nice, I want you to realize that we have not stopped doing the work. We should continue now looking at these charges. When you go back now, it is a way of saying, how about these charges that when you send, if I send about 200,000 through mobile money to you, you're going to pay about 6,700. If I send again 200,000 through a bank, it will only be about 1,000 something else.
Kapito further expressed satisfaction with media reports, which he said spurred debate on the issue and talks with the Minister of Finance.
Well, with that story, we've also come to the end of today's edition of the program Business Time right here on Times. It is a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines. On behalf of the entire production team, my name is William Kumwembe. But always remember, if it doesn't make money, then it doesn't make sense. Goodbye for now.